I am fired up. Did you see that? That all you got to do is talk about salary and LCBO, and then it's over. It's over. That's an interesting podcast right there.
Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy.
This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob.
Welcome to the Whisky Rant Podcast.
It's a little crusty.
It's frustrating.
And it's going to be a little bit of a rant.
I don't understand it. I don't know why.
Some sort of injustice.
Anyway, end rant. Hello and welcome back to the Whisky Rant Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Rob.
And tonight we're outside. It's a beautiful summer evening. It's
gorgeous.
Been a little bit since we've been on.
It has been a while.
And chilling outside tonight. We got a couple amazing 8-year-old peated whiskeys in front of us.
We do.
What do we got?
We have the Talisker 8 from 2021. I believe this one's 100% bourbon, but I'm going to check that as you are talking. The Kilkerran that recently went back to a bourbon in 2023, I believe.
They flip-flop, don't they? Or they
do.
release one each a year?
This is 2022, sorry. So this one, there was a sherry release and a bourbon release, which followed, and then what followed that was the bourbon and port release.
Right.
And then most recently, I think they just did sherry.
Okay.
So that's that one, 2022. Bourbon cask. Both are cask strength, I should say. So the Talisker is 59.7. The Kilkerran is 55.8. And on your side?
So we got the Argbeg 8-year-old. This is the for discussion bottling, 50.8% ABV. This one came out, a couple years back, right?
Yeah, a couple of years ago for sure. It's a committee release.
It is a committee release. Yeah, a bottle exclusive for the Argbeg committee, although they sell it to everyone.
And then the Lagavulin.
And then the classic, one of our favorites, Lagavulin 8-year-old. This one's coming out 48% ABV.
I was surprised to find out that that's already been around for 8 years.
Yeah, so obviously Scotch whiskey, like the norm was like 12, and there are some 10s, of course. But the 8-year-old age statement really didn't become popular until, I guess, Lagavulin kind of started the ball rolling on these things.
Yeah.
And 2016 is when it was released, the 200th anniversary bottling, and then Talisker came out. Special release of the Diageo special releases. The first release, the Talisker 8, was phenomenal.
That was the one that everybody went mental for.
Really nice. Yeah. Kilkerran around the time of Lagavulin, I think maybe a couple years later. And then Argbeg probably most recently.
That's the most recent.
Most recently with this 8-year-old.
Yeah.
So obviously that's like the whiskey landscape, the Scotch whiskey landscape, getting younger and younger. Obviously Argbeg also has a 5-year-old out as well.
Yeah.
Whiskey can be good at younger ages for sure. We're just not really used to seeing it in the modern Scotch whiskey times anyway.
I feel like we should do an end of summer 5-year-old because there are quite a few now. There's every Argbeg. Every Octomore. Right? Then you have all the Mico Tours.
Mico Tours are all 5.
Now you have the Argbeg Wee Beastie.
Yeah.
Is there any other age-stated 5?
Yeah, I don't know.
Even if you just do those 3, that's plenty. But
the thing about peated Scotch, though, is like it is better younger for
agree.
a lot of times, right?
And what's
there's
crazy?
Lots of examples of that.
Yeah, for sure. And I almost wanted to kind of throw a curveball in here and let you do one blind.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, obviously, spoiler alert because we didn't end up doing it. I was going to throw in the Mico Tour Original, which is just
which
I think
I've never
bourbon
tried
cask.
before.
Yeah, so it would have been a cool little experiment. Because then they could have, I believe it's around 50% ABV, so it's in and around what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have been able to tell, see if there's actually a big difference between a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old. And my suspicion is that, especially with those Mico Tours, you would never be able to tell because those things drink way above their weight class.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess tonight we're just going to go through these and kind of just determine what we think's drinking the best right now. I really don't think I have a favorite of all of these yet.
Yeah, we might by the end of the night.
I don't think that, I'm going to think that the Kilkerran's the best, or I'm thinking Talisker's the best. I don't really have a preconceived notion of what I think is going to be best, so it'll be interesting to see what we think's drinking well tonight.
Yeah, we got to watch that we don't get flies because for whatever reason, the flies are really attracted to this.
They love the peat. They love that ex-bourbon maturation.
I guess so. All right,
what do you want to start with?
Let's start with the Lagavulin since it's the lowest in ABV.
Okay.
I think it's 48%, right?
We always had this discussion about Lagavulin, when the Offermans are out there, and I'm like, I would still take the 8 over the Offerman stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Man, I love like that citrus nose, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna blow you away every time.
We got Silent Bob joining us in the background.
Silent Bob just came in.
Silent Bob's joining, and he brought some Miko Tours with him.
Look at this guy, always coming prepared.
There's those are your whiskeys on the table there, sir.
And we already have a task for you to look up the maturation of the Talisker 8.
Talisker 8 2021.
We need to know if it's all ex-bourbon, because it probably is. Maybe there's a touch of sherry, but
There could be like I know that the year. So Silent Bob actually lent me a bottle of the Talisker 8, but it was the one that had the rum casks in it, so I didn't include it. I think this one's just bourbon, the 2021, with the sea dragon, the sea monster on the bottle. Man, honestly, this I forget all the time. Actually, Silent Bob bought me this bottle. I forget all the time how good this bottle is.
yeah, I know. It's like the nose, you get like those tropical fruits, you get the citrus fruit. Get some maltiness. Maybe some vanillas in there. Palate, very similar to the notes on the nose, I think, too. You get a lot of maltiness. You get that peat, of course.
Tropical fruit.
Coming through really nice.
Get like, and I think that the theme for tonight, other than flies, is that there's going to be a lot of grilled pineapple.
Love grilled pineapple notes on whiskey, man.
Right?
Yeah. 100%.
That I feel like that's the best part about a young peated Isla or young peated Scotch in general, is that grilled pineapple note.
Especially when with an ex-bourbon maturation, you seem like you get it quite a bit.
Exactly. I meant to include that.
You ever put like a grilled pineapple on a burger?
Mm-hmm.
Good, right?
There's So I just got back, as you can tell, from the beach.
You're dark.
Yeah.
You're like an olive, like a black olive in the summertime.
Yeah. So at Sauble Beach, where our cottage is, it's next to this place called Beach Burger. And shout out to Beach Burger, because honestly, they make probably the best burger outside of the GTA that I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that. One of their feature Beach Burger has a grilled slice of pineapple on it.
I love that. Yeah,
It's
like
so
if
good.
you put like a little bit of like jalapeno mayo or something, like a spicy aioli or something like that, it just complements the pineapple well.
Talking my language.
Yeah, this whiskey's great. I mean, man, this is such a good bottle and a great buy too. What's the current price? Oh, we haven't even talked about the LCBO strike and.
I guess that's a topic we should discuss.
Yeah.
I think
Go ahead.
for the longest time, Silent Bob, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Log 8 is around $90, 95. It's more now.
More?
110 now.
110.
Okay, so Silent Bob is our price checker. Like, this guy, without even looking, he knows the price of every single thing at the LCBO and probably all of Alberta.
But in a good Scotch market, you're paying like 60 US for this bottle, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think in the U.S. you could probably sneak this one. Like even in Alberta, you could probably get that on a good sale for like $65.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The LCBO went on strike because obviously, if you're not aware, the LCBO is a government-controlled liquor store here in Ontario. It's the only place that sells spirits, and the Canadian government or the Ontario provincial government wanted to start selling or allowing grocery stores, convenience stores, other facilities to start selling pre-mixed cocktails, which is now one of the most popular selling items at the LCBO. And they thought that was going to take away their business, take away their jobs, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
I mean, I'm not necessarily against their strike. I mean, I don't think that we need to be giving grocery stores another profit avenue, considering they just got busted for price fixing bread out of all things and had to pay like a $500 million fine for doing so. They already sell beer and Ontario wine. They're price fixing all over the place. The prices of groceries have gone up 20% in like the last 3 years. They don't need another revenue stream. And I think the LCBO also contributes some of their profit towards provincial services like hospitals and roads and whatever else.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing I think the LCBO has going for it, is that some of that money goes back into the government.
Mm-hmm.
or like back into public spending.
Yeah. Whereas the grocery stores, that goes right into their
Just
pockets.
private, yeah, it's just completely private. Well, I would assume that they have to pay the taxes, which is significant in Ontario.
Sure,
right?
but like the profit is still going to them, whereas the LCBO profit, I think some of that goes to back.
Yeah, I mean, I think the LCBO kind of shot themselves in the foot with this strike, and the only reason I say that is right now. I mean, Florida has already passed a law where you can buy alcohol anywhere in the country and have it shipped to your door.
Mm-hmm.
That was January 1st, 2024. As of 2026, he plans to go completely privatized, which would open up avenues for like guys like you and me that want to open up like a whiskey shop,
Yeah.
right? Which is a cool option. It would be a really cool option. And let's not kid ourselves. The LCBO has not been kind to us when it comes to pricing.
No, they're terrible for pricing.
Right.
But here's maybe what could happen. Maybe the LCBO drops their prices 10%, 15%, and undercuts what the grocery stores can sell it for, and boom, suddenly you get your business back
Exactly.
at the LCBO. And if you want to pay for the convenience of buying these products at a supermarket or at a convenience store, you pay a premium.
I think they're terrified to have to do that because they've been
They're so used to charging thousands of percent
Right.
over markup. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's part of the strike is that you have, and honestly, let's be realistic here. As much as the LCBO profits do contribute to some public services and stuff like that, they have 50 of the highest paid public sector people in the entire country.
Yeah. Their salaries are out of control, I'm sure.
We went through it one time, I think,
Yeah.
right? There was like two guys that were making 50 people making over $400,000 a year
Right.
on LCBO staff. Now, explain to me what the hell they are doing that is so significant that requires them to make that much money.
Exactly.
Like not even the prime minister's salary is of that like is that high.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not even joking. It's not. So this is a government
job.
funded job.
Yeah.
And these guys, there's the head CEO or whatever you want to call him, making $800,000 a year.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad for these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to start cutting, cut there.
I agree.
Like you don't need those guys. That top
No.
50 can go.
Yeah. We can do that job.
We could do that job for half the price, and I'm not undercutting what we can do, and do it better.
You do it way better.
And do it better.
Yeah.
And like I'm not even tooting our horn. Like it's just facts.
Yeah. We would serve the people of Ontario way better than they do. They're limited stock and overpriced. Anyway,
Yeah.
we digress.
That was a super tangent.
LCBO is back. They're back. They cut a deal, so they're back open now. Not that we really shop there that much anyway.
I am fired up. Did you see that? That all you got to do is talk about salary and LCBO, and then it's over. It's over. That's an interesting podcast right there.
LCBO sucks ticker. Boom, 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 boom.
That's like minus 1,500,000.
baby. Keeps cranking.
Um,
I moved on.
Argbeg.
Argbeg 8-year-old
Committee
for
release.
discussion. So what is the deal with this? It is like for discussion. What part of it is for discussion? It's the fermentation they did or something weird with it?
Something like that. I feel like it's just the fact that they actually said, hey, this is 8 years old, and we're telling you this time. Unlike all the other committee releases where it was 8 years old, and we didn't tell you.
Right. This does have a weird like distillate characteristic to it that I feel like is.
Yeah.
What is the discussion? Silent Bob, do you know what the answer to that is? The Argbeg 8. What's the
What was up for discussion?
I thought it was like the fermentation was weird, or they over ferment.
So there's that fermutation. That's an actual committee release.
Okay,
yeah,
that's the one I was thinking of.
Fermutation.
Right.
I think what is up for discussion here, and obviously I'm probably wrong, but I think it's just that it's age stated 8 years old, which they never did before.
No, well, they came out with the Wee Beastie before this.
Yeah, but the committee releases and those special releases were never age stated before, unless I'm wrong about that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, right? All the
Right.
committee releases up until this, the black, the like this, that, whatever, the
True.
Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
they're all non-age stated, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, you do get a lot of distillate characteristic, I feel, in this one.
It's good.
Some maltiness.
I like it. I gotta say, I do probably prefer the Lagavulin a little bit to it.
Yeah.
The Lagavulin's a touch sweeter, a touch more like powdered sugar, and a touch more pineapple. Silent Bob has 4 glasses poured for him there, and I mixed up the order on him on purpose so that he has no idea which one's which.
Oh dear. What a challenge. It is very challenging because
But I know which one's which, so.
When you're drinking like high ABV peated stuff at a young age, they can kind of blend into each other after a while, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Go to the nose now on the Lagavulin one more time. And it blows the Argbeg away.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right? Like, just so much more,
I like it.
so much more sweetness going on.
I remember when you first cracked this Argbeg 8-year-old, we were really late to the party because
We
it
were.
had been out for, 2 years before you even opened it or something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that, yeah.
And I was very impressed, actually, because I was expecting kind of like Wee Beastie vibes, and I'm not a huge fan of Wee Beastie, but I thought the 8 was much better. But honestly, are you still going to take it over a 10?
No, I take the 10 over that.
Yeah.
Although I will say, maybe not, because the price at the time was like $80.
$80?
Yeah, I think we paid $80 Canadian. Now, those are Alberta prices, but it was a great price, so it's definitely not regrettable. Now, here's the closest thing to a Springbank at 8 years old.
Kilkerran 8, and this is 55.8. So this is a 2022?
So sometimes, and I find this with the Springbank local barleys, some Kilkerrans, there's this like, it's like a wet grass, medicinal, black licorice kind of note on the nose.
Yeah, I get a little bit of that. I'm getting like a really like dry wood kind of note.
Dry
too.
wood, yeah, I
like
can
a
see that.
balsa wood, sawdust almost note on it.
Yeah, I get like like fresh cut hay, soaked fresh cut hay.
Right.
Like that's almost their peat smell. And
Yeah.
it's very consistent with like the local barleys. The local barleys are like that all the time, except if it's like in a sherry cask or 13 to 16 years old.
This on the palate though is very, very nice. Really, really good. I don't know if you get like as much of that tropical fruit as you get on the lag, but you get
think-
something else here. You get that weird funkiness, right?
You get that like that viscosity that's reminiscent with a Springbank. Maybe like a little bit of sugar cookie.
Oh yeah, that's a good note. Yeah, and lots of malt characteristic on this one as well.
Definitely very malty.
Right. Yeah, lots of grainy like cereal notes too on the
Yep.
finish.
Silent Bob, make sure you don't mix up the glass order, because otherwise you're on your own.
But yeah, that's really nice on the palate.
Mhm.
I think the nose is like maybe something to be desired, but I mean, you're not going to mistake that palate, man. That's good.
No. Yeah, definitely. I love how some whiskeys, and it's very obvious with any type of Springbank, and so far with any type of Glenallachie or now Miko Tour, you get this like full body experience that is not common, and it's really what makes them stand out. And I honestly believe that, I know like we've praised Glenallachie for years, but I honestly believe that with the Miko Tour series, you're gonna see like a Springbank kind of fandom, because there are guys that hate it, but think back to like early Springbank, there was people that like, oh my god, get that away from me, it's disgusting.
They didn't give two shits about Springbank until everyone started discussing it.
Until it became the pappy of Scotch, right? And then you got a nice little fly in here. I don't know. It's not necessarily.
I'll get it. I'll get it.
I don't want to go. I'm not putting my mitts in there, but. Poor little bugger.
He's nice and toasted now.
Yeah. Can you imagine how drunk they would get?
Would they even get drunk? Do they have like? They don't probably even like have a liver.
I guess like
Would they have? Would a little fruit fly have a liver? Would it need it? I don't know.
I feel like it would affect their brains.
I think it's just instant death, really. Talisker 8-year-old. So this is what year is this? 2021.
2021.
This year we did the Talisker special release, the Diageo release. It was a 11-year-old. Can't remember now.
It was. I think you're right. I think you're right.
11. Yeah.
We got a lawnmower starting in the background. That's gonna be interesting.
I don't think the mics would pick up too much.
Maybe the
of
mics
that.
won't.
No.
Silent Bob went to go like deal with it. Don't worry, just let it go, man. It is what it is.
I don't think these mics would pick up too much of that sound. Hopefully not, anyway.
It's okay. They gotta embrace the elements. Back in the day when you used to play football outside and you like hit the telephone wire when you threw the ball, it's like play the elements, man. That's part of the game.
What ghetto school were you playing in where there's like wires hanging down?
I grew up in Rexdale, first of all. So
in your playground was just like
no,
live
we would
wires.
we would literally play on the street.
Okay.
Yeah, like we would literally play on the street. So now here is the biggest issue with doing whiskey reviews outdoors is the nose is significantly muted.
Yeah. What did we say before? Like you lose at least 30, 35%.
Yeah,
of
we
the
said
nose?
that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's more.
Maybe.
Cuz like
With peated scotches like these, like it's not as bad.
yeah.
Something that's like, 43% ABV, you might lose almost all of it.
Yeah. True.
This Talisker though. What do you think? More like a campfire kind of smoke to this one?
So
Yes.
it claims to use their smokiest reserves.
Okay. I mean, it kind of pales in comparison to the Argbeg and the Lagavulin,
It's a little light.
right?
It's a little light.
I mean, we're getting out of Isla, getting out of Campbelltown.
I honestly wish we did add in that Miko Tour blind like I was like planning to do, because smoke wise, like peat wise, they blow these away. They're so
Why don't you
peated.
just go get it?
Well, there's two right there, but the original's downstairs. It's gonna be.
I mean, there's power of editing. We can just cut right to it.
yeah, it's just because of the age difference, right?
I see. We're doing 8-year-olds.
Doing age, yeah. We're doing 8s. We'll save it for the 5-year-olds. We'll do the wee beastie with it. We'll do the. Well, I did the head-to-head. Where was that? Did I do a head-to-head recently? Yeah. I didn't do a head-to-head. When I did the Brook Laddie 18 and the Octomore 14.2, I talked about the Miko Tour Turbo and how much more peated it is than the Octomore.
Mm.
And honestly, I believe that. That
Really?
Miko
Yeah.
Tour Turbo, and a lot of people knocked it. Like a lot of people, I don't know if it was to like dampen the hype on the Turbo, but a lot of people knocked the Turbo. And I'm here to say that that's going to be in my top 6 this year.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like, it's that good.
Liquor Hound just did a review of that. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh,
The Turbo.
I got to watch that.
Be very interested to see what he thinks.
I am very interested to hear what he thinks because I feel like I'm almost alone. Like, everybody keeps trashing the Turbo.
Hmm.
Oh.
This Talisker 8. So get like a little bit of like lemon drop candy. Love that. Are you getting the grilled pineapple on this one?
I mean, if I dig, it's probably there.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't have the other 3 first, I'd probably get it more.
Yeah.
It's definitely, despite being the heaviest in ABV, somehow the least viscous.
Yeah, you're right. It is kind of thin, and like
Right?
the finish is like kind of short.
It's like, so I told you guys already, Silent Bob let me borrow, I think it's the 2022 8-year-old. So I didn't bring that one out because it has rum casks, but this one is 2021, and I mean, that's the fill level. And usually there's not a very good reason why the fill level's that high.
Yeah, you haven't been.
But
haven't
in
been
this
going
case, I
after
feel
it.
like that's why.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, it's good. Definitely nothing to knock.
Right.
But it's just not like drawing you back for
Yeah, I think that the previous releases of the Talisker 8 are better. I mean, I think the first one was something special. I think they probably used some really good casts in that, and maybe some older casts because it was the first time
Yeah.
they released that age statement. So there you go. I mean, I think it's a clear winner for me on these 4.
Which one?
The one I like the most,
Yeah.
the Lagavulin.
Oh, you're saying there's a clear. Oh, I thought you meant that the Talisker was the clear winner. I got
No,
scared there.
I'm sorry. There's a clear winner for me on these 4. And
I agree. It's the Lagavulin. Yeah. 100%. It's the most well-rounded. And now maybe since this bottle, so like, again, this was a gift from Silent Bob for my birthday, I believe, not this year, but the year before. So this is an indication as to fill level and how, like, I just really need to revisit this bottle because it's fantastic. And it's in good company, but it stands out. Viscosity-wise, it's the lowest in ABV.
Yep.
But it has the, like, aside from the Kilkerran, it's the thickest,
I
the
think
sweetest,
the finish lasts the longest.
and the nose is the best. by
And I
far.
think it's got the most amount of peat.
There is no secret that Lagavulin, if they wanted to, could blow everybody out of the water.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Like, it's like the Macallan effect, but even more so because they haven't changed anything. They haven't opened up a new distillery. They haven't, it's still all the same stuff.
All they would need to do is release the 16 at cask strength
No, they need
as
to
a regular core range, and it would just be game over.
they need to sell Lagavulin to a private owner,
Yeah.
not Diageo. And I love Diageo, don't get me wrong, like they have incredible stuff, but they're going to think marketing first, right? So I don't blame them. Like that's the business world. You have to kind of do it. But if there was one brand out of their whole portfolio that they should just let, like, live and let live, is Lagavulin.
Yeah.
Let the master distiller at Lagavulin have free reign over whatever the hell he wants to do. And I guarantee you, you're not getting a 16-year-old at 43%. You're not getting the cask strength, which is it's a 12-year-old cask strength, but it's chill filtered and it's added color. You're not going to get that. You know what I mean? Like, it's still amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. What Lagavulin needs to do is, like, obviously you continue releasing this 8-year-old, but also do what Kilkerran does and do an 8-year-old sherry. Do an 8-year-old sherry. Do an 8-year-old ex-bourbon.
Yeah.
Do an 8-year-old port.
I would be happy with a 5-year-old sherry Lagavulin.
Sure.
I'd be happy with a 5-year-old sherry Lagavulin at cask strength. Or even 48%. 48% Lagavulin, 5-year-old cask strength. You don't have to give me any royalties because none of you guys do.
This drink's
Just
fine
do
at 48. This drink's completely fine
It's
at
great.
48.
It doesn't drink like it's 8 years old.
You're right. Yeah, it drinks much older. Drinks like 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's, I think out of all of these, it's the most accessible bottle, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the one you can probably find right now if you went out and shopped.
It's literally the only one out of all of these that you could probably find right now.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? The Kilkerran 8, that was in 2022. They haven't done a bourbon cask since, if I'm not mistaken, which is crazy because in the beginning, Kilkerran 8 only came in bourbon cask, if you remember. Those taller bottles. This Talisker, it changes every year. I think you said it. The most recent one's an 11-year-old. That was like $250.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gone up in price, the Lagavulin 8, but don't buy it in Ontario and you're fine. That's gone. The Argbeg's gone. You can't find that anymore. So that's it.
So you want to rank them in order? Are we both agreeing that the Lagavulin is the best?
I think it's a no-brainer.
Okay, what are you taking second?
I feel like I got to go Kilkerran 8.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. And then this last pick between the Argbeg and the Talisker is maybe a coin flip for me. What would you say?
It's tough. It's hard because like neither of these have a very distinct nose outside.
I think for me, I would take the Argbeg over the Talisker. I would go Lagavulin 1, Kilkerran 2, Argbeg 3, Talisker 4.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Argbeg is a third place spot here for me as well. And it's again, this doesn't happen often where something sits because it just doesn't call me back.
Yeah.
And if this was by itself and it was the only one I had of the 4 of these, it would be fine. It would be good. But because I do have options,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, do you ever get the Netflix kind of vibe when you're looking at your bar?
Yeah, you got too much.
You're just like scrolling for hours.
Yeah.
It's like last night was a prime example of this. When you have multiple streaming services and you're trying to find something to watch and you've watched like all the shows that you actually like already, you're caught up and you're trying to find like something intriguing. Mm-hmm. So I ended up watching a movie called Midsummer, which I kind of regret.
I love that movie.
You liked it?
Yeah, I like twisted shit like that.
Yeah, okay. So like I can see why people like it.
It's disturbing.
It's
though.
messed up.
It takes a little bit out of you watching it. It's
does.
like it's emotionally exhausting to watch that shit.
Yeah.
But I thought it was brilliant. I loved it.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't regret watching it. But I mean, I feel like it wasn't the best late night movie. I don't know.
Yeah, you leave watching that and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, you're thinking about it for hours.
You gotta watch it like a comedy right after or something.
Yeah,
to
you
get your
immediately.
headspace
Yeah,
back. Yeah.
So after I watched Midsummer, I'm searching first Netflix, then Prime, then Disney Plus, then Crave, then Apple TV, and I'm like, what am I doing right now?
Yeah.
And that's how I feel when I go downstairs to my bar, because it's like, what the hell do I do? Like, I pour something, I commit to that thing, I might regret it.
Yeah.
And then if I regret it, that's it. You can't take it back. You can't get that time back. You can't get that liver back.
So
that's it.
Is your process like this? Is sometimes my process where I'm like looking at my selection of stuff and I'm like, I just had that one. Like, oh no, that one's for a special pour. Can't have that one right now. It's like, oh, I'm not feeling peat, so it's like this. But I'm like, no, I really want that. And it's like you go through this like process of like you need to find the perfect pour.
So what's your go-to then?
I don't know.
I always pour 2 brewers.
Do you?
I always pour 2 brewers.
I always pour Springbank 10. It's just like, fuck, I'll just go Springbank 10 again.
Yeah.
Because I'm never, ever, ever, ever disappointed with that. And I could drink it anytime, in any mood. It doesn't matter what it is. I could always drink Springbank 10.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I don't have an open bottle of Springbank 10, which is probably why I'm kind of like where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, 2 brewers, man, every time.
Yeah. Classic? Or just whatever?
Whatever classic I have on hand.
Classic is like the anytime pour, I feel.
Oh, my God. Like, I don't think... It's not even fair how good those guys are. And, like, for the ages and all that other stuff, like, I don't know if you've tried the most recent one with the rye, the 40% rye.
Yeah, you poured me some of that. It's delicious.
Oh, my God.
It's so good.
Like...
It's so good.
It's a lot to be proud of what's happening over there. But,
yeah.
Anyway, we digress again. Netflix. That's what it's like to have a nice bar.
Hey, it's a good problem to have.
Is it though? I miss the days before I started Whiskey in the Six. Not that I dislike any of what I've done. Obviously, I love it, but I miss the days of having like 2 bottles on hand.
Yeah.
And just crushing those 2 bottles and then going to the liquor store.
There's lots
and,
of people
what
who
am I
do
gonna
that.
crush next?
There's lots of people who do that. Lots of people are like, oh yeah, I only have like 5 bottles open and I just have to wait till one's done before I get to the next. I'm like, that's tough.
It is tough.
Because like we love to just try so much different things and like having a whole bunch of unopened stuff, you want to just crack that.
How many bottles of like one like Macallan 12-year-old did you go through before you actually started like having a monster collection?
I don't know, quite a few, because I drank a lot of Macallan 12 because
I drank a lot of Macallan.
I bought it in the U.S. when it was such a good price. I mean, it was one of the best value Scotch whiskey purchases I think you could make at the
possibly
time.
the best in the U.S.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, because it was like $50,
and you could find it on sale.
And there was a
you
good portion of time
Costco
where
would have it cheap.
Yeah, and it was the dollar was at par for like a good portion of that time.
Yeah, or just like 90 cents.
Yeah, it was like 97 cents.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. It was crazy. Those are good
good
times.
old days, man.
Those are good times.
$45 Macallan 12. Can't beat that.
It wasn't even that long ago. Like my son is
like
9 years old.
It was like 7, 8 years ago.
My son's gonna be 9. We were
It was
in
about 9 years ago.
Arizona, and he was like 2.
Yep.
And I was going to the liquor store in Arizona, And like Macallan 12-year-old was my like go-to for the week because you could bring whatever you wanted, drink it wherever you wanted,
Yeah.
at the pool, at the hot tub, whatever. Like you drink your own stuff. You don't have to drink the stuff that they sell there. So that was cool.
Back to 8-year-old Peated Scotch. Leave us a comment down below. If you had to pick between these 4 bottles, what would you choose? And if you could add something else that's like a younger Peated Scotch, what's your go-to?
What's yours?
For younger Peated Scotch?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Octomore, but I think that's unfair. I think the Octomore is unfair, but honestly, like, dude, I cracked open a 6.3 to share with the Patreons, and my goodness, man, I've been sneaking a couple sips. It's just so much better than any other Octomore I've ever had. It's mind-blowingly how good that expression is.
Yeah, you need to bring that over.
Ooh, man, it's so good, dude.
Honestly, like I will say, one thing Octomore always kept consistent with is the 0.3s. The
Yes.
0.3s were almost never disappointing.
Yeah.
You know? But everything else kind of wavered.
Yeah, I thought the 9.3 was the closest to the 6.3. So if you can find a 9.3 out there,
Yeah.
definitely pick that up. But yeah, like the 10.1s, 11.1, 12.1. What are they up to now? 14? I think I tried
This year's going to be a 15.
I think I tried a 14.1, which is
I have the
they're all okay.
14.2 downstairs.
Yeah.
You tried, which is sherry and Amarone casks.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's just not good enough. It's not 6.3.
Nothing's touching 6.3.
No.
Man. I don't think so.
Honestly, like that's kind of how I feel. Like 6.3 versus Mikkel Tour Turbo, go. Like showdown right now.
No fucking contest. Octomore takes it 1,000 times out of 1,000.
I don't think so, dude.
Dude, okay, well, let's do it then.
But how do we do it? Like we're gonna be biased, obviously.
We'll know, but like we'll know which one's which, obviously.
Okay, we gotta be as like we gotta agree to be as like
No, I'm not
diplomatic.
agreeing. I'm already picking Octomore 6.
I know you are. That's the problem. Of course
It might
you
be
are.
one of the best Peated Scotches I've ever. It
Of all
probably
time.
is my best Peated Scotch I've ever had.
It's up there.
like heavily Peated Scotches. I'm not
telling
talking
you,
about
dude.
like Springbanks or maybe like Brora or something like that. But for a heavily Peated Scotch, I think it's my favorite that I've ever tried.
Mikkel Tour, man. The first 4.
You're hyping Mikkel Tour like you hype fucking Two Brewers.
That's how I feel, man.
Okay.
That's how I feel. It's like Springbank 8 Society release. Like
Yeah. Well.
I feel
Okay.
passionate about those guys. I'm passionate. I'm a WAP, man. What do you expect?
All right. Well, trust me, dude. When you get a sip of this 6.3, you're gonna be taken right back to where you were when you first tried it, and you're gonna be like, "Damn."
You know what? I hope you're right.
Damn.
I hope you're right because I did the 14.2 the other day, and I'm like, this pales
Yeah.
in comparison to the first round of Mikkel Tour.
Yeah. Okay. Leave us a comment down below. The young Peated Scotch. What's your favorite? What's your go-to?
Yeah.
And what's a newer release actually that's maybe worthwhile picking up that we haven't mentioned or tried?
Yeah. Let us know. This is drinking real nice.
I know. I just went back to the nose on that Kilkerran, and man, the nose is great now.
I know. I think
took a second to open up, but
if we went like
man,
30 minutes like back in time,
Yeah.
it might have actually like competed with that
Yeah.
Lagavulin 8 a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I totally agree.
All right.
But
Well,
that's the way she goes.
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. Really much appreciated. Have a good one. Talk to you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.